Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Think you truly understand space engineers' combat? Your ships might be taking hits in unexpected ways, your turrets aren't reaching their full potential, and your armor could be hiding a subtle weakness. There are deeply ingrained mechanics that separate good builds from truly great ones. In this video, we're uncovering the hidden truths of space engineers' combat, from how your armor truly works to the unique secrets of every weapon, and a critical AI block that changes everything. Master these mechanics and you'll dominate the battlefield. First, a crucial concept often misunderstood. When an armor block takes damage or is destroyed, it can cause adjacent blocks to visually deform. This deformation is purely visual. These deformed blocks are not actually damaged and remain at 100% health. However, the deformed shape might block access to pathways or create visual clutter. To restore their original shape, you simply just need to weld them. For small grids, this visual deformation used to be a bug up until the Warfare 2 update, where it would actually destroy adjacent blocks. That bug was fixed, making small grids more viable in combat. Now it's just a visual effect. While this isn't direct damage, it means you might need to take time to re-weld parts of your ship after a battle just to restore their aesthetic or critical access. Leaving a small space between key functional blocks and outer armor can help prevent them from deforming and causing these cosmetic or accessibility annoyances. Sloped armor isn't just for looks. Projectiles from assault cannons and artillery have a chance to ricochet off sloped surfaces. Keep in mind, Space Engineers projectiles behave like solid armor-piercing shells. They are not fused and do not explode on contact unless programmed for area damage like rockets. At shallow angles, there's a high chance to ricochet. But here's the critical so what. Even if a projectile ricochets, it still deals significant damage to that first block and loses some of its penetrating power. For example, an artillery shell ricocheting will deal 7,000 damage and subtract that from its 17,000 damage penetration. And here's another crucial detail. Ricochet only happens once per grid. You can't stack rows of angled armor blocks hoping for multiple deflections on the same grid. Furthermore, a projectile can deflect a maximum of 3 times total, meaning the projectile itself can only bounce up to 3 times across its entire flight path, across any grids it hits, before its damage pool is depleted and it's simply destroyed. So while sloping can save your ship from a full punch through, it's not a magical shield that makes the projectile vanish. It's a way to absorb damage and redirect the remaining force. Understanding this helps you strategically aim for flat sections of enemy ships, or design slope armor to bait less effective ricochets. Building on these ideas, spaced armor remains a powerful defensive strategy. By creating gaps between armor layers, the first layer absorbs or ricochets the initial energy. As projectiles act like solid AP shells with a damage pool, each layer of armor they pass through consumes some of that pool. This effectively forces incoming projectiles to spend their entire damage pool over multiple obstacles, preventing them from reaching vital internal components. It's a fantastic way to stretch your armor's effectiveness without necessarily making your ship a solid brick. Now, armoring a ship is a very personal choice, but a practical philosophy often involves focusing your heavy armor where it matters most. Many effective builders prioritize armoring key essentials, perhaps the tip of a ship, a vital block directly under a seat, or most importantly, around ammo containers located just below turrets. These are the places most likely to get hit in a direct engagement. I've started to make it a habit to always have a turret directly positioned on top of a container with its ammo. Players often struggle because a single conveyor line gets hit, and half their functional turrets are suddenly without ammo. These lines often get easily hit because turrets are positioned on top of them, and even missing shells can end up hitting those exposed lines. A bit of heavy armor right below your turrets protecting those supply lines can make all the difference. Now let's dissect every major weapon system. Beyond just raw power, each has unique characteristics that dictate its optimal use, its effective range, and even hidden counterplays. Most projectiles are affected by gravity, causing bullet drop. However, rockets are unique. They fly perfectly straight, unaffected by gravity. Also, some projectiles are missile-typed, meaning they can be targeted and shot down by defensive turrets, though as we'll see, effectiveness varies wildly by projectile speed. Your basic workhorse, the Gatling Gun. It fires incredibly fast and is your go-to for shredding light armor and exposed components. It's generally the cheap but effective option. Its weakness? It's not super precise, and its range is a bit inconsistent. Also remember, it needs a short reload after a burst. Gatlings are excellent for anti-missile defense, engaging player characters, and shredding small grid targets. Stepping up, the Autocannon hits harder per shot than the Gatling. Its biggest secret? No reload time. It fires as long as it has ammo, making it perfect for relentless, sustained pressure. It's more precise than the Gatling, but still has that variable range. And here's a key detail. Autocannons are specifically balanced so that every hit deals enough damage to destroy a small grid light armor block, ensuring consistent lasting damage on small grids. The assault cannon offers a powerful punch with penetration damage, ideal for piercing light armor. It's precise with good range, however, beware, the small grid assault cannon is highly inaccurate. Assault turrets are a great in-between option. They rotate fast enough to track small and fast-moving crafts until they get right up in your face. A common counter is to stick close behind them, where their slow rotation speed can't keep up. It ricochets off slopes but still deals damage. And here's a crucial little-known fact. Assault cannon projectiles are missile type and can be targeted by turrets with target rockets enabled. But here's the reality. You shouldn't rely on defenses like interior turrets for this. These shells are generally too fast, and turrets like the interior turret respond too slowly and don't deal enough damage fast enough to matter. For pure explosive power, turn to the rocket launcher. It delivers explosive damage with a significant 4-meter radius, affecting all blocks within the blast of that point of impact. Perfect for clearing clusters of blocks or external structures. Precision is low, rockets are slow, but they fly perfectly straight, unaffected by gravity. Rockets have limited capacity before a reload, so manage your bursts. And yes, there is a reloadable rocket launcher variant in addition to the turrets. Because they're missile type and relatively slow, they are quite effectively shot down by turrets with target rockets enabled. Point defense is key against these. The artillery cannon is a beast. It deals massive pure penetration damage, tunneling through multiple blocks. It's slow but hits incredibly hard. Artillery turrets rotate very slowly but have excellent range, and provided they hit, significantly out DPS the assault turret. Hitting small or fast targets with them can be quite challenging due to their slow tracking. Like assault cannons, it ricochets off slopes, but always remember, even a ricochet deals substantial damage and reduces its penetration power. Aim for flat surfaces to maximize its tunnel effect. Artillery shells are also missile type and can be targeted by turrets with target rockets enabled. However, similar to assault cannons, don't count on slower or less powerful defenses to reliably stop them. Their extreme speed generally makes interception impractical. Finally, for unparalleled piercing power and precision, say that 5 times fast, at extreme ranges, the Railgun. Large grid deals massive focused penetration damage capable of drilling a single, clean hole through almost anything. Small grid variants also provide substantial penetration. They are perfectly precise, with the longest effective ranges in the game and incredible speed, virtually no bullet drop. Their trade-off, extremely slow reloads due to recharge. These are for devastating alpha strikes, not sustained fire. While technically missile type and targetable, their immense speed makes shooting them down incredibly difficult in practice, to the point of being nearly impossible for most defenses. Now, for a truly game-changing secret that any combat engineer needs to know. The AI defense block doesn't just automate drones, it gives your static turrets an incredible tactical advantage. While most turrets can only effectively target up to 800 meters, adding an AI defense block allows them to detect and lock on enemy grids from up to 2.5 kilometers away. Think of it, your turrets become ultra long-range sensors. This means invaluable early warning, allowing you to prepare defenses or simply know exactly where the enemy is focusing their approach. It's about situational awareness and target prioritization at distances previously impossible, giving you a massive head start in any engagement. However, a crucial limitation, AI blocks do not see through voxels, like asteroids or planets, so don't try to hide one deep inside your base hoping for detections beyond the rock. This block is non-negotiable for serious combat builds. Let's now talk about a wildly misunderstood but incredibly powerful tool for defense, the Decoy Block. At just 5 PCU since the Fieldwork update, it's a game changer when used correctly. To truly understand its power, we need to briefly explain how turrets' AI targeting works. When a turret searches its perimeter, it first targets the closest enemy grid that fits its targeting parameters. Once it acquires a grid, it then chooses a specific block on that grid to target. This block can be any component that falls into its targeting categories: thrusters, weapons, or power blocks. Critically, the Decoy Block contains all 3 of these targeting categories. The block a turret chooses to target is not random. It's determined by a weight value based on its distance from the targeting turret. Blocks closer to the turret have a much higher chance of being targeted than blocks even a short distance further away. Here's the Decoy Block's secret weapon. It has a 10 times multiplier to become targeted. So if you have a thruster and a Decoy Block at the exact same distance from an enemy turret, the Decoy Block is 10 times more likely to be targeted. But this distance weighting ramps up very quickly. If that Decoy Block is just 2 large grid blocks behind a thruster, they already share roughly a 50-50 chance of being targeted. For Decoy Blocks to be truly effective, you must position them where they are consistently closer to the enemy than the blocks you want to protect. For example, placing Decoy Blocks strategically in the heavily armored bow of your ship will pretty much ensure they are targeted first, assuming you're pointing your ship towards your opponent. If you place a Decoy Block somewhere in the rear of your ship, they'll likely be ignored during a head-on combat scenario. However, a rear-mounted decoy could be incredibly useful for keeping your thrusters alive while attempting to flee. Important final note: grids with decoys are not more likely to be targeted overall than a grid without decoys. Decoys only matter after your grid has already been targeted. So there you have it. Space Engineers combat is far more complex and strategically deep than you might realize. Remember, armor deformation is visual and requires rewelding, but it is not a direct source of damage. Slope armor offers smart defense but doesn't make projectiles vanish, and understanding the unique strengths, weaknesses, and hidden behaviors of each weapon system, especially the powerful AI defense block and the incredible utility of correctly placed decoy blocks, will give you a decisive edge. Take these insights into your next build, test them out, and let me know in the comments what other Space Engineers mechanics you'd like to see explored. If you found this guide helpful, smash that like button, subscribe for more Space Engineers insights, and consider becoming a channel member for exclusive behind-the-scenes content in our Discord. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. A massive thank you to Aragath at Keen Software House yet again for fact-checking and helping build upon my script for this video.
Nope. 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 Nope.